Hi there, and welcome back to the Empower Her Business Accelerator podcast. I am Philippa Channer, and if you're ready to step into your role as a confident, strategic entrepreneur, then you're in the right place. If you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button or the follow button so you don't miss a single episode packed with new tips and tools to elevate your business. And now, quick reminder that the Empower Her program isn't just about tactics. It's about transforming your mindset, mastering your marketing, and becoming the unstoppable CEO your business deserves. In today's episode, it's all about unlocking a marketing superpower that is going to be your buyer personas. Now, many of you might be rocking your ideal client definition by now. You know who you serve, their struggles and their dreams, but how do you take that knowledge and turn them into marketing magic? And if you don't know your ideal client yet, check out last week's episode 130, where we talked about how to stop attracting the wrong clients and to build that ideal client so you know who you're going to. So hopefully you have nailed down your ideal client description by now. You know their basic demographics and what they're struggling with. But how do you take that knowledge and use it to attract them like magic? This is where buyer personas come in. Now, hold on, Philippa. You might be thinking, what on earth is a buyer persona? Is it some kind of fancy marketing jargon? Think about a buyer persona as your ideal client on steroids. It's more than just the demographics. It's a detailed profile that brings them to life. We're talking about personality, their habits, even their favorite podcast. Hint, hint, it's probably this one. But why is this so important? Imagine trying to have a conversation with somebody you know absolutely nothing about. It's a little awkward at first, right? If you're throwing generic messages out there without considering who you're talking to, they're just going to fall flat. But with a buyer persona, you can create laser-focused content, design captivating marketing materials, and even tailor your social media strategy to speak directly to your dream client. Because here's the thing, people don't buy from companies, they buy from people they connect with. A buyer persona helps you understand your ideal client on a much deeper level. You can use the language that resonates with them, speaks directly to their needs and desires. And this doesn't just make your marketing more effective, it makes it more human. Because when you truly understand someone, connecting with them becomes effortless. So if you're ready to create your secret marketing weapon, next week in part 2 of this series, we're going to dissect the different parts of a buyer persona and give you a step-by-step guide to building your own powerful powerhouse profile. So last week we talked about your ideal client and who that is and how it feels, working with them and to be able to connect with them on a much deeper level. The key here is you have one ideal client, but you may have multiple buyer personas. Let me give you an example. So one of my clients, amazing company, it's called Wyatt Wear. She has, because of her son, growing up, she has a son with special needs. And part of his condition causes him to drool in abundance. To be able to have something where he could wear that makes him feel comfortable and keeps his clothes clean was important for her. So she has come up with her own line of bibs, and she's designed them to be for any age. So young kids can wear them, adults who have the same condition. So to be able to provide something that looks classy. It doesn't look like, when you look at somebody who's wearing it, if you see them, they don't look like they're wearing a bib. It's part, you have a nice, you can wear your regular jacket over it. She has a nice fancy waist for girls. She has some nice floral ones and like sequences. I mean, you would not be able to tell that somebody else is wearing a bib unless you knew them and you knew what they were going through. She has come up with 4 buyer personas. So even though she has one ideal customer in mind, and the customer in this case is the person who's buying. The buyer personas, yes, I know it sounds like they're going to buy it too, but sometimes the buyer personas are the people who are utilizing the product or service. So for instance, in this case, oftentimes it's not the child or the adult with special needs who is purchasing it. It is the caregiver who's taking care of them. And so her 4 ideal personas are, basically like what I said, like, so a young child, then there is the young adult who's around, maybe high school, late high school, college age. Then there is a maybe in the 40s adult, professional who is out there making a career, has meetings, lunch meetings that they need to go to. And then we have a senior. So a senior who is maybe in a senior living community and still, needs assistance when it comes to eating and keeping their clothes clean. And so those 4 different people would fit the ideal person to use her product. And so she would create content that contains maybe images, pictures, videos that have and depict those people wearing the product and showing how happy they are because it's solving a problem they have. And so the ideal client, again, is the person who's going to make the buying purchase. But if the person who's making the buying purchase sees these different personas living out the life that that we want to depict, that this product or service is going to give them, it's going to help them make a more firm decision. And so that is where sometimes, depending on your product or service, where you can get the difference between an ideal client and your buyer personas and how they work together. All right. So before next week, when we get into making some buyer personas, I want to give you a quick challenge. Imagine you're grabbing coffee with your ideal client. What questions are you asking them? What are their aspirations, their biggest pain points? Jot down a few ideas. This is going to be gold when you build your buyer persona next week. And basically that's a wrap on buyer personas for part 1. Next week, we're going to again dive into different elements that make up this powerful buyer persona, and I'll give you a step-by-step guide to building your own. In the meantime, if you're feeling a little lost when it comes to crafting targeted marketing strategies, the Empower Her program can help you. We're going to guide you through creating your ideal client profile, developing targeted messaging, and developing a marketing plan that attracts your dream client on autopilot. So if you're ready to see if the Empower Her program is perfect for you, please book a free 30-minute discovery call with me. We can chat about your business goals and see if we are a good match. Just click on the link in the show notes below. And until then, have a great and magical week.